Just hours before a Friday night deadline, leaders of the Senate Judiciary Committee struck a deal with Donald Trump Jr. and former Trump campaign chair Paul Manafort. They no longer will have to testify at a public hearing this coming week. In exchange, the two will turn over records and they'll be interviewed privately. The deal comes just days after Donald Trump Jr. said he would testify under oath. Joining me now is Senator Al Franken of Minnesota. He's a key member of the Senate Judiciary Committee. Senator, thanks so much for being here this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
I want to actually start with something that incoming White House Communications Director Anthony Scaramucci just told me. Take a listen.
Somebody said to me yesterday, I won't tell you who, that if the Russians actually hacked this situation and spilled out those emails, you would have never seen it. You would have never had any evidence of them, meaning that they're super confident in their deception skills and hacking. My point is, all of the information isn't on the table yet. But here's what I know about the president.
Wait, Anthony.
Let me finish.
Well, you're making a lot of assertions here. I don't know who this anonymous person is that said that if the Russians had actually done it, we wouldn't have been able to detect it. But it is the unanimous.
How about it was the president, Jake?
Okay, it's the consensus of the intelligence community.
He called me from Air Force One.
So,
I thought, see, when he brought it up, I thought it was a disinterested intelligence expert.
Originally.
Brought that up to him, yeah.
But actually,
you asked a good question.
But then I said, I don't know who this person is, and he said it was the President of the United States.
Yeah.
So here we have the unanimous consensus of both Obama administration and Trump administration intelligence community leaders, people that Trump appointed, Dan Coates, Mike Rogers, et cetera, and Mike Pompeo at the CIA, and President Trump still doesn't believe it.
What can you say? It's just bizarre. I mean, it's clear that, and we're seeing now that members of his campaign met with the Russians, even though they would testify before, say, the Judiciary Committee answering a question from, say, me.
I'm talking about Jeff Sessions.
Yeah, saying that he had not met with Russians during the campaign. Now it turns out, it sounds like, that Kislyak at least said they met in April, which is a meeting that he hasn't said that he had, in which they talked about subjects regarding the campaign and about Russia, about sanctions and.
Yeah, so you're talking about a Washington Post report that quotes former and current government officials saying that there are intercepts of Ambassador Kislyak talking with presumably the Kremlin or people back in Moscow, about his meetings with Sessions. Do you know anything about the intercepts?
I don't. I mean, what I do know is what I read, which is that I guess someone in Kislyak's position can sometimes distort what he says when he's reporting back to build himself up. I also saw in those reports that Kislyak isn't that type. And it seems to me that since Attorney General Sessions hasn't been terribly truthful regarding these things, that it's more likely that that what Kislyak was saying was the case.